Have you ever wanted to talk about your faith, but worried you'd say the wrong thing, or push someone away instead of helping them? You're not alone. For many people, evangelism feels intimidating, awkward, or even confrontational. But it doesn't have to be. Welcome to HowExpert Tip of the Day, where we bring you real-world tips from our how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. If you want to learn even more in-depth strategies, examples, and techniques on this topic, check out HowExpert Guide to Evangelism, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. At its core, evangelism simply means sharing the good news of your faith with others. It's not about winning arguments, memorizing speeches, or forcing conversations. It's about communication, relationships, and understanding people. Today, we'll break down what evangelism really is, why it matters, and how it actually works in everyday life. The first thing to understand is that evangelism begins with mindset, not methods. Many people imagine evangelism as a performance, something you switch on when the opportunity appears. But in reality, it grows from who you are before what you say. If your daily life reflects patience, kindness, humility, and integrity, conversations about faith become natural extensions of your character. Think about a co-worker who notices you stay calm under pressure or forgive quickly during conflict. Their curiosity opens the door before you even mention belief. The takeaway is simple. People are more receptive to a lived message than a spoken one. Another key idea is that evangelism is relational, not transactional. A transactional mindset treats conversations like targets. Say the right words, get the result, move on. But relationships don't work that way. Real conversations take time, trust, and listening. Imagine meeting a neighbor who recently went through a difficult loss. Launching immediately into a prepared speech would feel insensitive. Instead, empathy and presence come first. Over time, genuine care creates a safe space for deeper discussions. The insight here is powerful. People rarely care what you believe until they know you care about them. Third, listening is often more important than speaking. Many people fear evangelism because they assume they must always have answers. But meaningful conversations often begin with questions, not explanations. When someone expresses doubt, frustration, or curiosity, they're not always asking for a debate. They're asking to be understood. By listening carefully, you learn what they actually value and what they're really searching for. For example, a friend who says they don't believe in religion might actually be reacting to past hurt rather than rejecting spirituality itself. Listening reveals the heart behind the words. The memorable tip: seek to understand before trying to be understood. Fourth, clarity matters more than complexity. People sometimes feel pressure to explain theology in technical detail, but most meaningful conversations happen in simple language. Sharing a personal story often communicates more effectively than delivering a lecture. Saying, "My faith helped me forgive someone I couldn't forgive before," is relatable and real. It connects belief to life experience. Complicated explanations can distance listeners, while simple honesty draws them in. The key insight is this: authenticity communicates more powerfully than expertise. Fifth, timing shapes the impact of the message. Even true words can fall flat when spoken at the wrong moment. Evangelism isn't about forcing a topic into every interaction. It's about recognizing openness. Sometimes a person asks directly about beliefs. Other times, they share a struggle or search for purpose. Those moments are invitations, not interruptions. Think of conversations like doors. Pushing on a closed door causes resistance, but walking through an open one feels natural. The takeaway is patience. Let curiosity lead the conversation. 6. Respect preserves the relationship regardless of the outcome. Not every conversation leads to agreement, and that's okay. Evangelism is not measured only by immediate change, but by faithful communication and lasting connection. If someone disagrees, responding with grace keeps trust intact. Imagine two friends discussing deeply held beliefs but still sharing a meal afterward. Respect shows that care is unconditional. A helpful reminder is that people remember how you treated them long after they forget the exact words you used. 7th, consistency builds credibility. A single conversation rarely shapes someone's perspective. Instead, repeated interactions over months or years demonstrate sincerity. If your actions align with your message over time, people begin to see stability and authenticity. For instance, encouraging someone through hardship, celebrating their successes, and remaining present in everyday life reinforces what you share about hope and love. The quick insight: consistency turns words into evidence. To bring these ideas together, imagine a college student who befriends a classmate struggling with anxiety. Instead of immediately introducing spiritual topics, they study together, talk regularly, and support each other through exams. Months later, the classmate asks why the student seems hopeful even under stress. That question didn't come from persuasion, it came from observation. The conversation that follows feels natural because the relationship made it safe. Evangelism in that moment becomes less about presenting information and more about sharing life. When you look at the bigger picture, evangelism is less about pressure and more about presence. It grows from character, relationships, listening, clarity, timing, respect, and consistency working together. Understanding these principles removes fear and replaces it with confidence rooted in authenticity. When you live out your beliefs, build genuine connections, and speak with humility, conversations about faith stop feeling forced and start feeling meaningful. Evangelism then becomes not an obligation, but an overflow of what already shapes your life. People rarely remember perfect arguments, but they always remember genuine love. For even more tips, techniques, and practical examples on this topic, check out HowExpert Guide to Evangelism, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. HowExpert publishes how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.